I'm a Windows user that has been using Windows since Windows 3.1. I have recently decided to try Linux Mint on my own personal laptop to see if I can make the transition from Windows to Linux. So the only experience I have with Linux is setting up Ubuntu to run AI machines like the one I have right there. This is currently my second week into running a Linux machine on my laptop. I still need a Windows 11 machine so I can run my software company and write code for my products that I offer. If you missed the previous videos, I've basically went over a few things that I had pros and cons whenever I was making the transition. Overall, though, I've been pleasantly surprised at how seamless getting Linux Mint up and going has been. The two things that I really wanted to try out this week, I wanted to get remote access hooked up so it would remote access into my Windows-based machine, which I will get into more in a little bit. The second goal for this week was to try out LibreOffice VBA programming to see exactly what that was, and I wanted to see if maybe I could possibly either work on them directly on my machine or possibly port them over. As a user of the Windows environment, I have some expectations as far as not using the terminal to do basic things. I am 100% down with using the terminal to do things that normal users would never encounter. So for instance, what I ran into last week was Linux actually worked on my laptop and did things that Windows never actually did. So my laptop is really old. It was originally designed for Windows 7, came out right when Windows 7 came out, and it was not intended to be upgraded to Windows 10 or 11. And because of that, whenever I upgraded to Windows 10, some of the buttons did not work, like the Wi-Fi lights and things like that. Well, it turns out literally everything on it works now inside of Linux. So it's mind-boggling to me that somebody had to sit down and actually say, hey, I want this laptop to work, because Linux is just open source, and if you want something added in, you basically got it added in yourself. So somewhere, someone at some point said, we want this functionality added in. Everything on this laptop works in Linux right out of the box. But one of the cons that I brought up last week, even though that it worked, I didn't know that whenever you were accessing Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi light would blink blue to amber and go back and forth every time it's transmitting data. That was kind of annoying. Someone told me that I need to look up a command, and I Googled it. Turns out it was a common thing that happens, and I was able to use a terminal, issue a couple commands, which I'll have on the screen here, and it worked. It's like the Wi-Fi still works. The light stays blue now, though. For situations like that, I am 100% down and completely fine with using the terminal. It's when you have to install things that I don't want to have to use the terminal. The reason for that is if it is designed to be user-friendly, then someone who is not familiar with coding should be able to pick it up and use it. I shouldn't have to read a manual in order to know how to use my operating system. I never read anything for Windows. I immediately picked it up and understood it. I never had to read anything for Mac. I immediately picked it up and understood it. When I installed Ubuntu, I immediately had to go to the terminal and I immediately had to learn some things. Luckily in Linux Mint, that's not the case. Everything is pretty much there for you. The only time you need to go to the terminal is if there is a user interface that just doesn't exist. And that boils down to inside of Linux Mint, basically everything is a user terminal, which is fantastic. It operates just like so close to Windows. It's like almost like I never left a Windows machine. But for the things that I couldn't access, for instance, turning off the blinking light, it's a hardware issue. Absolutely, go to terminal. Perfectly fine with that. I also ran into an issue last week where I was looking for the Chrome browser for my work. My work requires us to use Google Chrome. I Googled Google Chrome on Linux, and I was brought to a page I'm going to show you right here, and it had all these things to install Linux via terminal. I tried that at first, and then I realized, no, I'm not going to do that. And I just thought that was the only way, because it's on a Google search where I searched Google Chrome for Linux, and that's the first thing that came up. Not the download the deb file from Google. So I was under the assumption that that's just how you did it. Because I searched for it on Google, why is the top result not their own product? I don't understand. But that was where all of the confusion came from last week. Got that all sorted out. we're good now. And if I need to install Google Chrome, I can. For anyone else, if you need Google Chrome for your work, get Chromium. It's in the software manager. Just open that up, type in Chromium. It links up to Google Chrome. Everything's perfectly fine. It just doesn't have all the ads and spyware in it, basically. This week, I actually found out Remmina, which is the remote desktop from Linux to Windows, works perfectly. I just had to plug in my IP address. The only issue that I ran into was an issue on my main computer. I didn't have a password set up on my account because, I mean, it's here. No one else uses it. I had to set up a password so I could set up remote access. That was on me, on my Windows account. Nothing to do with the laptop or Linux Mint. The remote desktop, after I got the password on there, worked great. The next thing I wanted to work on this week was getting the VBA working inside of LibreOffice. And it's not actually the same Excel VBA. It's similar. It's like a pseudo VBA. So it's LibreOffice's Basic. It's like Excel Visual Basic Advanced, but it's not. It's LibreOffice's own interpretation of it. So you can still do a lot of the stuff in it, and it's a very similar code, but it's not the same code. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to work directly on my Excel add-ins that I've previously made, but I could try and port some over, and I could also try and make some new ones in this. It's just not going to be the same. It is very similar though. So if you're not actually developing software for Excel, LibreOffice, the VBA side of it, it basically functions exactly the same, and it's so close that you could pretty much get away with making little home projects, no problem. I was able to find the deb file for Google Chrome. So for those of you who helped me out with that, thank you. Thank you for the comments. And the deb files, you do just literally double click on it and run, and it installs like an exe file. So for those of you who are wondering about that, as long as it has a deb file, deb, it's basically an exe file. It's an installer. And now it comes to the part of the video where I am going to be making a statement that I haven't really thought about until now. Up until this point, I have had my Windows partition ready to go. Put it right back in my computer and I can start right back where I was. I'm going to give myself a few more weeks with this computer, and if I can do everything on Linux Mint, I'm going to be reformatting this drive and using it for something else. For anyone wanting to try Linux and they're coming from a Windows environment, as far as I can tell, Linux Mint is probably the best option that you can have. It's clean, it's simple. You don't need to use the terminal. Pretty much everything is handed for you, and it's so refreshing not being reminded constantly that Microsoft Edge is not my default browser. Click on the start menu and not see ads, not see an update window begging you to upgrade to the latest version, or that you need to upgrade your hardware in order to be supported, or you're going to lose support on something, or your entire screen gets locked out. It's nice being able to have RAM on your computer that's not being eat up in processes that you don't even see. Right now, and I'm going to bring this up so we can see it. Task Manager. This is what I have going on right now. 20% of my memory is currently being used. And I don't know why, and I don't know where, and I don't understand it. Because if we click here, 128 gigs of memory, 27 gigs of it's being used. 27 gigs. That's a program installer. Like, it's nothing. It's basically text. The majority of what I have brought up is text. It is so nice not having all the bloat everywhere all the time constantly. To be fair, I want Microsoft to succeed. I really do, because they have had such good operating systems for so long. Windows 10 started getting a little like icky, but it was still usable and it was still good. And then Windows 11 came out, and I've hated every single second of it being out. And then I see rumors about 12, and it's so disheartening because I remember how good it used to be. My overall opinion of Linux Mint so far, it's been perfectly fine for what I need it for, which is basically text documents, spreadsheets, maybe some very light coding if I need to, remote access into my main machine, which is doing great, access to my AI, and that works perfectly fine as well. Web browsing, accessing my media files, my media server, accessing my Jellyfin server. Also works fine. There's not really any downside to me using this machine aside from I can't run EXEs. That's it. But I don't really need to because this machine is so old that it's not like it's going to run anything anyway. I just need it to be a typewriter, basically. I am currently 2 weeks in. Where do I stand with it? I think Linux Mint's perfectly fine. I'm going to give myself a few more weeks with it. If there's any software or tips that you all can give me, let me know. Comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. For anyone just now getting into Linux, as a Windows user myself, if you're coming from a Windows environment, I cannot recommend Linux Mint enough. Thank you all very much. If you have any suggestions for me, leave them comment down below. Have a great rest of your day.